Okay, I think we're ready to go. So, today I wanted to address the subject of capsule wardrobes because I'm actually I am going, can you believe it or not, to an event, an actual in-person event. Dun, 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 dun. Been a while. Been a while since I have been at an in-person networking event or led an event from the front, did a speaking gig. So yes, very excited. And then I was like, oh, what will I wear? I've been sailing around the world, hanging out in deck shorts and bikinis, and when it gets a bit chilly, I might put some leggings on, They roll up really easy and they dry really quickly. And this is one of the things that I was just like, well, okay, what would I wear? The other thing that I've had an issue with here in Latin America is I'm a European woman. Latin American women are a lot shorter than me. I didn't think I was that tall, especially when I stood next to my children, who are 6 foot stupid and a half. My goodness, crazy. So yeah. And then a friend of mine, Catherine, was saying yesterday on her LinkedIn profile about having that go-to capsule wardrobe. And this is something her and I have discussed quite a few times, as well as a couple of other women who decide to tell people what they should and should not wear. Catherine doesn't do that. And how if you do not show up, in your power suit and your belted trousers and all of these other lovely things that are a bit of a luxury for those of you who stay in one place and don't venture out very far and, have built everything that you do around that one location where you can have a walk-in closet or you can have the shops nearby alter everything for you. I know I used to have that life. I used to have a shop that whenever Sarah used to put something in the window, I used to have to make sure I didn't drive past there on the way back from the school run, because knowing her, she would be putting something fabulous in the window, and I might once or twice have nearly shunted somebody in the rear end during their car looking at the latest designs and collections that were in the window. I love a good fashion show. Absolutely love a good fashion show. But buying clothes here in Latin America, they're either stupidly expensive, i.e. triple the price. I mean, you want to buy a North Face jacket here in Latin America, you're going to be paying 3-4 times as much as you would do anywhere else. I nearly choked on my coffee when I was in Chile. I was like, how much did I just... And I'm there with my currency calculator going, why on earth do they want nearly $300 for this jacket when I know I can get it for $50? Obviously, when I'm in the UK, not in the southernmost point of Chile, where there is a captive market. You want the jacket, you're going to buy it. It was a good jacket, but anyway, Latin American women are that much smaller than me, and I never realised. And wearing a jacket or a blazer in the tropics, we have a very different way of doing business in South America or in the Arab world or around the equator. And it really does show a level of ignorance when I see North American women or Northern European women. Sorry, there's a bug. Get my jungle girl mode on. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. It's a really big one, and I'm not in jungle mode. I can do this. But see, this is the thing, we do business very differently. And I do miss my trouser suits, my power trouser suits, my Michael Kors, nice linen trousers with matching jacket and, my heels. And I do miss going out for dinner and fine dining. I really do. Black tie dinners, cocktail dresses, fabulous. Can't wait to go to another one. But again, it's like, where are you doing business? And are you showing your ignorance to the rest of the world? Because the thing is, if you're saying to somebody that you really are not doing yourself any justice unless you are wearing X, Y, Z, or you're not professional if you show up and you're not dressed in a certain way, I get it. If you rocked up down a marina and we were all off sailing and you came in your, your fancy pants outfits, and we'd be like, okay, got a novice here. Make sure they've got a life jacket on and a safety line, and we've got the ginger and the vomiting tablets, and we would probably giggle, and we'd be watching you to make sure that you didn't do anything stupid or smacked your head on a boom. And for those of you who don't know what the boom is, it's that long stick that's attached to the big stick that goes up. This is the boom. That's the mast. Don't mean to be patronising, but it's the same kind of thing when women tell another woman how to dress, and says, if you don't do business this way, you're not professional. It depends on which bloody kind of business you're in. When I was on land permanently in one place, I know for a fact that if I'd have turned up to some of my clients in a trouser suit or even in a skirt suit, they'd be like, where have you just been? Are you on your way to court or something? It just wouldn't work. When I'm working with graphic designers and web designers, they're not in suit and trousers. They're not power dressing. And if I'd have gone to one of my clients who happened to be a lawyer, where we're offering them a service where they are looking at having evidence on DVD to present in the courtroom, if I'd have rocked up to their office, having just visited a client in the creative industries or in the manufacturing industries, they wouldn't think I was professional either. And this is the thing, it's about adapting. Instead of having a one size fits all, or we work in the corporate world, therefore we can only hang ourselves every day with a tie on, or put the shoulder pads in our briefcase, or as a friend of mine, Kate, used to say, shoulder pads and underpants. No, she didn't. What did she say? She said the shoulder pads and briefcase with your power underpants, or something along the lines of that. She was Canadian and she was absolutely bloody hilarious. She was a laughter coach back in 20 odd years ago. Incredible woman. Yeah, it was really, I just find it just incredible that what year are we in? 2022. Oh, I don't even know what year it is. In 2022, we still have people who are not aware of how other people do business around the world. I mean, it's not fucking rocket science, is it? If you are online, you have a global audience. Therefore, you need to get global in your thinking. And I don't just mean global as in white Caucasian from a different state or another English-speaking country. I mean get global. And this means that if you're an American and you're dealing with a British person, we're not going to have our hair just set, as my grandmother used to say. It's not going to be blow dried and set. It's probably going to be more natural than you've ever seen before in your entire life. You should try it sometimes. And if you're dealing with the Australian or the Kiwis, be prepared to be shocked by some of the language that comes out of their mouth, because they tend to swear a lot more. When I first arrived in Australasia, my ears were starting to... I was like, oh my goodness. I worked in a kitchen and we never used to swear this much. And these were women and men at the top of the corporate world. It wasn't your bogans, as they're called in Australia. They are chavs to those of you in England, Neds in Scotland, and rednecks in Australia, rednecks in America. The trailer trash. But they're not trailer trash, but well, kind of, yeah, they are. Again, understand where you'd go. Those of you who think that those of us who wear shorts and shib-shib are shib-shib, okay. Shib-shib is the Arabic word for a flip-flop A flip-flop is the English word for a jandal, which is the Australian word for Japanese sandal. I think that's about it. Japanese. There's a jandal, shib, flip-flop, and thongs. No, jandals are the Kiwi word, and thongs are the Australian word. Steve Jobs has done a lot of keynote speeches, or did, sorry, in his short. Did it? Is he still alive? I don't think so. Can't keep up with it these days. Not being disrespectful or anything. But he has done in the past, really should check this bit out, shouldn't I really? In shorts and flip-flops. And he was head of Apple. If it's good enough for Steve Jobs, it's good enough for me in the tropics, don't you think? So, for all of you out there who like to tell everybody else how to dress and how to style themselves, you might actually want to put a little bit of cultural diversity into your space. Because the other thing I'd like to add to this is, with the world getting smaller and there's a lot more migration going on, you might actually have a lady from the depths of Africa turn up in one of her most fabulous, gorgeous prints. Maybe she's from Nigeria. You might have a Venezuelan or a Colombian turn up in a really colourful headscarf, or a Brazilian turn up with a beautiful headscarf. You might actually have a Muslim woman turn up. God forbid those of you who are offended by a headscarf have a Muslim woman turn up that wears hijab. There's also, I was going to go somewhere else with that. Hang on one second, let me just retrack. Where was I going? I was just about to say something. I've forgotten what I was going to say. So I just had a very exciting moment. Somebody sent me a link to something and it just transformed everything. And I just had another idea pop in my head. I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So when I was in Egypt and I was helping to launch JCI, which is Junior Chamber International, for those of you who don't know what JCI is, why have you been over the last 100 and goodness know how many years? JCI is the organisation that helped launch careers for people like Kofi Annan's public speaking. And it's a volunteer organisation. There were over 150 locations around the world. And basically you volunteer as an entrepreneur or as a leader, and you actually run training events, put on events, do fundraising, and fabulous organisation. I remember being at one of the very first meetings for JCI Egypt. And there was one chap there who was telling everybody how they should be dressed. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening, and I was like, okay, not quite how we do it in Europe and how it's done in America and Scandinavia, but you know. And so I'm listening to him, and then he goes, does anybody have any questions? I said, yeah, I've got a question for you. What would you do if someone turned up here in a galabeya? Now, for those of you who don't know what a galabeya is the white nightie, as some people have referred to it as, the white dress that some of the men in the Arab world wear. And this chap who was there in corporate business suit, you know, shirt, tie, you know, three-piece suite. They're probably not wearing a three-piece suite, but, you know, shirt, tie and what have you, and his jacket. He goes, well, I'd ask him if he was in the wrong place. And he was mocking. I was like, how fucking rude. Because you see, JCI is a volunteer organisation, and anybody that wants to make a difference into their community and to their nation can get involved. And it's a fabulous organisation. I was patron, and I was also a member of JCI in the UK, and just loved it. And I said, well, you've got completely the wrong attitude towards this organisation, because that's not what it's about. If someone turned up here and they were in a full-on burqa, they would be welcome to join. If you are only looking for men and women who only wear corporate suits of shirt and tie and jacket, then you completely misunderstand JCI. this guy was offended. It was, the turkey neck all wobbling everywhere and just really quite offended. Well, he didn't have a turkey neck, but get my drift. Yeah. A lot of the time I get that you need to be dressed. I mean, you can't rock up to sign a multi-million-dollar deal in your, well, you probably could turn up in your dog walking gear, but, Anyway, there is appropriateness. I'm not going to go to a business meeting in Saudi Arabia, in my bikini and my deck shorts. It's just not appropriate. I'm not going to go to the dinner on the luncheon on Saturday in my bikini and my deck shorts. But I also wouldn't turn up down at the marina in my evening gown, because I wouldn't be on one of the boats that wouldn't require an evening gown, because they're motorboats and they're not boats, are they really? Let's be honest. I mean, they are boats, but they're not sailing boats, and I'm a sailor, and sailing boats are much nicer. If you want a nice J, if you want to see a nice sailing yacht where, get to go and have a look at the J yachts, they're rather sexy. So anyway, that's enough waffle for me today, but I hope it's been useful. So for all of you out there that tell other people how to dress, you might want to get a bit more culturally diverse and understanding about the world around you, and the fact that when you're online, you are speaking to a global audience. And what was it Vivienne Westwood said? There's no such thing as fashion, or there's no such thing as being badly dressed. It's just owning it. See, I'm not very good at repeating other people's things. That's why I never bother. All right, I have a go. Might as well just repeat my own stuff, and like half the time I can't even remember what I've said. Anyway, need tea. I'm going to go and do my Spanish lesson now anyway. So I hope you've had a lovely start to the week, wherever you are in the world. And I shall see you for the next day of this video challenge. I think I'm doing quite well, actually. Didn't have a clue what I was going to be talking about at the beginning, and I've given you a different topic every single day. So have a lovely evening or a great morning, middle of the day, wherever you are. And remember, cultural diversity goes a long way. Ciao.